Welcome to our podcast, where today we're hopping into the fascinating world of newborn rabbits. Whether you're a seasoned pet owner or just curious about these adorable creatures, we've got some essential insights for you.
Absolutely. We'll be discussing the stages of a rabbit's early life, from the moment they're born to when they start exploring the world around them. So, let's start with stage 1, birth to day 7, also known as the neonatal stage.
Right. Newborn rabbits are incredibly fragile. They're born hairless, blind, and deaf, weighing only about 30 to 80 grams. Can you imagine that? Completely dependent on their mother for everything.
It's true. One of the crucial things to remember during this stage is to keep their nest safe and warm. The mother rabbit will build a cozy nest using hay and her own fur, and the ideal temperature is between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius.
And don't forget, handling them too much isn't a good idea. It's best to check on them just once or twice a day. There's this myth that the mother will reject them because of your scent, but that's simply not true.
Exactly. And if you're wondering how to tell if they're being fed, look for round, slightly full bellies and calm, sleeping babies. If they're not constantly crying or wriggling, that's a good sign.
Now, let's move on to stage 2. Day 7 to day 14, or the fur development stage. This is where things get exciting. Their fur starts to grow, and their eyes begin to open around day 10 to 12.
Right. And during this time, it's important to keep the nest clean and dry. If any kits pass away, you should remove them immediately. And make sure all the little ones are getting fed, as sometimes the stronger ones can push the weaker ones aside.
Absolutely. And then we have stage 3, from week 2 to week 3, where exploration begins. Their eyes fully open, ears start to stand up, and they begin crawling out of the nest.
This is a fun stage. You can start introducing solid food, like small amounts of hay and even a little pellet feed, along with providing water access in a shallow dish.
And don't forget to keep the area safe. They'll be hopping around and exploring. So remove any hazards and ensure there are no gaps they could escape through.
Moving on to stage 4, week 3 to week 5. We see even more changes. They eat more solid food, rely less on their mother's milk, and become more active and playful.
During this stage, it's critical to provide unlimited fresh hay for digestion, along with small portions of high-quality pellets. But remember to avoid introducing vegetables too early, as their digestive systems are still sensitive.
And hygiene is key. Clean the bedding regularly and keep the environment dry to prevent illness. Now, let's jump into stage 5, week 5 to week 8, where we see them fully furred and eating independently.
Yes, this is when social behaviors begin to develop. Their diet should primarily consist of hay, 80 to 90%, and you can start introducing small amounts of leafy greens slowly.
Remember, it's also important to separate males and females around 6 to 8 weeks to prevent early breeding. Now, what if the mother is absent?
That's a great point. If the mother dies or rejects the babies, you can use kitten milk replacer or goat milk, feeding them with a small syringe or dropper. But be sure to only feed once or twice a day.
And after feeding, gently stimulating their genital area with a warm cloth helps them urinate and defecate, mimicking what the mother would normally do.
Now, let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid. For instance, feeding cow milk can cause digestive problems, and overhandling newborns can stress them out.
Absolutely. It's also a mistake to assume the mother has abandoned them just because you can't see her feeding. She often does it quietly.
And introducing vegetables too early or keeping them in cold or damp conditions can lead to serious issues. So what are some signs of healthy kits?
Healthy kits will have warm bodies, be quiet and sleeping most of the time, have rounded bellies after feeding, and show steady growth.
And, of course, if you notice warning signs like wrinkled skin, constant crying, or no weight gain, it's time to seek help.
In conclusion, caring for newborn rabbits is about providing a safe environment and not interfering too much. The mother does most of the work, while your role is to monitor, protect, and support when necessary.
Newborn rabbit actually experiences, not just physically, but neurologically, behaviorally, and environmentally. This is the level breeders and wildlife rehabbers pay attention to. The inner world of a newborn rabbit, advanced view. 1. Brain state at birth, survival mode only. A newborn rabbit's brain is extremely underdeveloped compared to many animals. What's active? Brainstem, controls breathing, heartbeat. Basic reflex circuits, suckling, wriggling. What's not active yet? Conscious awareness. Memory formation, in a meaningful sense. Emotional processing like fear, in the way adults feel it. So their experience is not thoughts, it's raw biological signals. Warm equals safe. Cold, danger. Full stomach equals stable. Microclimate. Their first environment layer. We often think of environment as a room or cage, but for kits, it's much smaller. Their real environment is the 2 to 5 centimeter space around their bodies, temperature trapped in fur and nesting material, moisture level in the nest. This is called a microclimate, and it determines survival. Ideal microclimate. Warm but not humid. Soft but not compacted. Slight airflow but no drafts. Even if the room feels fine to you, the nest could be too cold or too damp. 3. Breathing and smell, the dominant sense. Since they can't see or hear, smell is their primary orientation tool. What they detect. Mother's scent, critical for feeding. Milk presence, nest identity. Biological detail, the olfactory system develops early. They respond to specific pheromones from the mother. Without this scent recognition, they may fail to latch and feed. Feeding physiology. Why it's so short but powerful. Rabbit milk is one of the richest among mammals. Composition. Very high fat and protein. Extremely energy dense. What happens internally? Stomach expands quickly. Blood sugar rises fast. Metabolism shifts into growth mode. After feeding, kits enter a deep, almost coma-like sleep. Growth hormone activity increases. This is why disturbing them after feeding is risky. It interrupts critical growth cycles. 5. Sleep, not rest, but development. Newborn rabbits spend almost all their time sleeping, but this isn't passive. During sleep, nervous system wiring develops. Muscles and tissues grow. Reflexes strengthen. You may notice tiny twitching movements, subtle jerks. That's neurological development happening in real time. Sensory awakening. Day 7-14, a gradual boot up. This stage is like turning on systems one by one. Eyes opening. Not clear vision at first. Blurry light detection. Sensitivity to brightness. Ears opening. Start reacting to vibration before sound. Sudden noises can cause freezing reflex. Movement. From crawling, unsteady hopping. Their brain is learning to connect senses with movement, which is a huge leap. 7. Stress physiology. What actually happens? Even though they don't feel fear like adults yet, stress still affects them. Stress triggers. Cold exposure. Rough handling. Loud vibrations. Increased heart rate. Energy diverted away from growth. Weakening of immune response. Chronic stress at this stage can lead to slower growth, higher mortality, development issues. Gut development. The hidden critical system. One of the most important and fragile systems forming early is digestion. At birth, gut is sterile, no bacteria. After feeding, mother's milk introduces beneficial microbes. Gut flora begins forming. Why this matters? Rabbits rely heavily on gut bacteria for digestion later in life. Early disruption, wrong food, contamination can permanently affect digestion. 9. Nest dynamics. More than just a bed. The nest is a self-regulating system. Good nest behavior. Mother adds fur when needed. Kits burrow together instinctively. What can go wrong? Flattened bedding, poor insulation, wet nest, rapid heat loss, scattered kits, individual chilling. A well-formed nest creates stable temperature, consistent humidity, protection from sudden changes. Transition to awareness. Week 2+. This is when the rabbit shifts from pure survival to early interaction. New behaviors. Lifting head. Reacting to light changes. Beginning curiosity. Brain changes. Sensory cortex becomes more active. Basic learning begins. This is the first true experience of the outside world as we understand it. But, putting it all together, a newborn rabbit's early life is best understood as layers. Layer 1. Survival signals. Warmth, hunger, physical contact. Layer 2. Biological development. Brain wiring, gut formation, growth cycles. Layer 3. Emerging awareness after about 10 days. Light, sound, movement. The deep insight most people miss. The goal is not stimulation, it's stability. Unlike puppies or human babies, rabbits are designed so that the less they experience early on, the better they develop. Too much interference doesn't help them adjust. It can actually disrupt growth